Any kid who was born or grew up in the late 90s or early 2000s has to remember the Rugrats. It was an amazing cartoon about a group of babies that just lived an extraordinary life. You have little Tommy Pickles, his little brother Dill Pickles, and you got Chucky Finster, you got, I think it's Phil and Lil. You got all these great characters, and honestly, it was just a cartoon that I remember growing up with, and of course, I notoriously had the orange VHS tape, the Rugrats in Paris VHS tape, for those of you who remember that. So yeah, Rugrats was a huge part of my childhood, and as you guys know, I tend to like to cover Nickelodeon games sometimes. Whenever a Nickelodeon game comes up that I'm interested in, I usually end up talking about it in some capacity. You know, in recent years, obviously I've been talking a lot about the SpongeBob video games because that is the definition of my childhood right there, especially in gaming. I grew up playing the SpongeBob 3D platformers from the GameCube, Xbox, and PS2 generation. Well, there is another new Nickelodeon game coming out, and it's not SpongeBob, and it's not from THQ Nordic. It's actually from a completely different studio, and it's about the Rugrats. Now, Rugrats has come back recently with the new reboot show. Well, I say new, it's a couple of years old by this point. But Rugrats is in the public eye again, so I'm assuming this studio was like, hey, let's take Rugrats and make a new game from it. So, when I was at PAX East this past weekend, I actually got the chance to go to the Limited Run Games booth to try out Rugrats Adventures in Gameland. So, today's video is going to be all about giving my impressions of the game, what I thought of it, and what it's all about, and I'm even going to talk a little bit about what this could mean, what this game specifically could mean for more Nick games in the future. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely drop a like and subscribe down below. So without any further ado, you guys, let's head into this video. So firstly, what is this game about, and what did I think of the demo that I played? Well, the game is a 2D platformer, and the game I can best compare it to, gameplay-wise, is Super Mario Bros. 2. You're running around these levels, and they're not necessarily super linear levels. I mean, they are linear in the fact that they have a point A to point B, but there are little side paths that you can go down to, to go and get different collectibles, like keys and things that you need to proceed through the rest of the level. In this demo, I got to play 2 levels. These levels were pretty different, actually, in terms of their length and playstyle. The first level, being in the house, was actually pretty short, all things considered. There really wasn't that much. It was more so of a tutorial level, really teaching you the ropes and how each character, or specifically the character you're playing as, moves. You know, having to learn how to crawl, how to platform, how to ground pound, all that stuff. And then the second level that I got to play, which was in the sandbox, or the Egyptian level, basically took the first level and all those mechanics that you learned in the first level. Now you have to use them to, learn how to get through these, puzzles and navigate the level, on top of some more moves that you learn. Now, the 4 playable characters you get to play are Tommy Pickles, Chucky Finster, Phil, and Lil, and each one of them functions kind of differently. Now, let's say Phil, for instance, he can do this really cool ground pound mechanic where he can go through multiple blocks at one time, whereas every other character can only go through them one at a time. Whereas characters like Chucky, I believe, can jump higher. He has a higher jump. So, again, think of Super Mario Bros. 2, where each character has their own kind of unique trait to them that makes their style of play different from the rest of the characters. And I got to face up against one of the game's bosses, which I don't remember the exact name of this abomination or the episode it was from. I just remember that it had to do with one of Angelica's nightmares, and that is this freakish, weird-looking baby Tommy Pickles that honestly is one of the memes from the show, but it was well-suited to this level in my opinion, and it was actually a pretty fun boss. It was hard, though. It did take me a few, minutes to kind of learn the mechanics and figure out how I was supposed to beat it. Which goes into something I really like about this game. Some people might not really love it, but it's something that I love. This game is definitely old school. It's not a game that really holds your hand or tells you what to do like a lot of modern games do. This game is very much, you go into this level and you gotta figure it out for yourself. Which I do think is interesting given the fact that you're babies and, you know, as through life you're learning how to do things for yourself. But all the deep meta stuff aside, it's pretty fun to actually figure out and feel accomplished for whatever you're doing. Like, there's no on-screen objectives that you have to complete or anything like that. You just kind of have to figure out what you're supposed to do by just exploring and figuring out the level, which, it's pretty honestly, that's pretty like Legend of Zelda. Like, think of Breath of the Wild, right? Breath of the Wild doesn't tell you what to do. You just have to explore the world and figure it out. Now, of course, this isn't to that same scope, but it's kind of that, except in a smaller and 2D format. So honestly, I really enjoyed this demo overall, and actually Limited Run Games gave me a demo code for, I'm pretty certain it's the demo that I played at PAX East, so that I can play it, on my own. And if you guys want to see me play the demo on my channel, I can do that for you, because I think it is a demo that's not available to the general public. So if you want me to play it, I will play it during tomorrow's Chatter Day. So definitely let me know down in the comments if that would be something that you are interested in. The one thing that I'm wondering, though, is what this means for the future of Nick titles, because before this game, we mostly have known two main studios that have been working with the Nickelodeon titles, being THQ Nordic / Purple Lamp, as well as Game Mill. THQ Nordic and Purple Lamp have obviously been focusing on the SpongeBob games, particularly the 3D platformers, and then Game Mill have been focusing on the multiplayer ones, like Nick All-Stars Brawl and Nick, Nickelodeon Kart Racers. That's what they've been focusing on. So now we have this third entity coming in here, working on this Rugrats game in a more retro style. And I really think it's possible that we're going to see more of this. I don't know in terms of the rights, I don't know if THQ Nordic don't have the rights per se, or if multiple different studios have the rights to like the Rugrats and all of that. But if more studios get involved with the creation of Nickelodeon games and getting to feed off of the nostalgia that many of us have for these shows, and if they're going to remake more games, like the nostalgia for these games, it could be a really cool thing to see many different studios be a part of this. It's one of those things where it's like, the more involved, the better, because that means we'll get more releases, we'll get more new cool stuff, and I think it's an interesting prospect to see what more can come of this. Maybe there's a different studio working on a different game from a different IP. With the rumors of a Danny Phantom TV show, new show happening, maybe Danny Phantom will get a new game, or actually a game. I don't think he got an actual game at all during his original run. Or maybe because there's like a Fairly Odd Parents reboot thing happening, whatever, maybe there'll be a revival of the Fairly Odd Parents games. You never know, and they don't necessarily need to be done by THQ Nordic or Purple Lamp. Maybe like the older titles that's specifically for THQ Nordic, so you never know. And it's just one of those things where it's like, because apparently it seems like Nickelodeon's handing their licenses out to multiple different people, there could be Nickelodeon games that we're still waiting on that we don't know yet. So I think the potential is endless with what Nickelodeon games we could get, and I'm excited to see what the future of this could be. Now, even though I don't play every single Nickelodeon game, you guys know this, I didn't cover All-Star Brawl or the Kart Racers because I wasn't personally interested in them. It is still interesting to see what they could do, and maybe I'll touch on stuff if it catches my eye, if it excites me, like this Rugrats game did. This Rugrats game, even though it's not like, number one priority on the, excitement list for me, it's still one that is really, really cool. And for fans of the original cartoon, they used original artwork that they had used back when they made the original show. Like, they put a lot of love and care into this one. And if you're a fan of the Rugrats, I do think it is a must-play for you, and I really hope that people will give it a shot when it comes out later this year. I believe in August is when it comes out. So, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff down below. Hit that notification bell so you're notified of when I upload videos, and let me know if you're excited for this game. It seems like from the poll I posted up about a week ago, a lot of you guys seem to be excited for this one. So hopefully I convince you guys further to be excited for this one, and like I said, If you want me to, I'll play the demo over the weekend and talk to you guys about it while I play it, in case you want more proof of how good this game is. So, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and until next time, I'll see you all in the next video.